Many of us do not suspect, but in fact a large number of spices have simply amazing effects for our health. And each of these ingredients has its own unique flavor, color, composition of vitamins and minerals, and taste qualities. And in fact, it is not by chance that in ancient times spices were valued at the level of gold. And today, many studies show that many spices have an extremely strong positive effect on the work of our body. In this video, I have collected exactly such a selection. So watch the video to the end, and you will find out what is best to add to your daily diet and cooking to live long and have excellent health. So let's go. By the way, friends, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell too. Don't miss any of my new items. So, item number 1 is black pepper. In fact, the seasoning is very simple, and there is probably literally in every kitchen. But its popularity and availability does not mean that this seasoning is useless. In fact, black pepper has a huge amount of antioxidants that help fight free radicals. And black pepper reduces the level of permanent microinflammations in our body. And the property of black pepper is also well known when we combine it with turmeric, because it is black pepper that improves the digestibility of such a valuable seasoning as turmeric by about 20 times. And one more circumstance that is worth mentioning. If we have the opportunity to buy whole black pepper and grind it immediately before cooking, then this is much more optimal than buying a ready-made powder, from which many useful properties have literally disappeared. Let's move on. The next point quite logically follows from the previous one. This is turmeric, or as they say, turmeric. In fact, turmeric is even a definite trend in the scientific world, because right now researchers have rushed to investigate its effect. And there are a lot of interesting, very entertaining details on the effects of turmeric on our body. So it has been proven that turmeric contributes to the prevention of a huge number of diseases. It also reduces, again, the same permanent microinflammations in the body, which are the main cause of aging and the formation of chronic diseases. Turmeric has a very good effect on the health of the immune system, nervous system, improves our cognitive abilities, that is, thinking, intellectual. And in general, turmeric can and should be discussed separately. I even have a special video dedicated specifically to the effects of turmeric. What it does to our body, what amazing effects it has, how it should be chosen, and most importantly, how and how much it should be consumed to get the most for your body. I have a link to this video in the description. Be sure to watch it too. It's very interesting there. Let's move on. The next item is ginger. Ginger has a very good effect on our metabolism and contains a large amount of vitamins such as vitamin A, C, B vitamins, as well as minerals phosphorus, iron, magnesium, calcium, zinc, potassium, and others. You can use ginger in different ways. The simplest and most undesirable is in the form of grated ready-made powder and supermarket. The most optimal is, of course, the most fresh, let's say, option. It can be added to cooking. On the basis of ginger, you can even prepare a ginger drink when the ginger is ground, soaked in boiling water, and you can add tea, berries, honey, and any other additives to taste. It turns out such a ginger tea drink. It even helps to reduce the attacks of motion sickness. And fortunately, ginger root is quite affordable and sold in many stores. Let's move on. The next item is cinnamon. As for cinnamon, it has been proven that it can improve our cholesterol profile and, consequently, reduce the likelihood of atherosclerosis, that is, the formation of cholesterol plaques. Also, in addition, cinnamon reduces the amount of triglycerides, which also has a positive effect on our blood vessels. Reduces sugar levels. It is no accident that cinnamon is very often added to various dietary supplements. But again, as we all know, it is much better to get valuable substances, not in the form of tablets, but in the form of live, let's say, products. Cinnamon can also serve as a good healthy sugar substitute. Not conditionally speaking chemical, but natural, because it is able to impart a special sweet taste, which our receptors perceive as sweetness. And another very pleasant effect of cinnamon is its ability to affect our neurotransmitters and their exchange in the brain. In this way, cinnamon improves our mood by acting on dopamine receptors. Therefore, it is not surprising that they like to add it to their morning coffee so much. Let's move on. The next item is a carnation. Cloves have a rather pronounced and peculiar aroma. It is very often used in cooking. But in this video, we are interested in its properties, which it has on our body. So, first of all, cloves have a very good effect on our nervous system, because they act as a light sedative. Help the nervous system recover and reduce the feeling of fatigue. Cloves also improve blood circulation and help with colds, as it cleanses our mucous membranes and helps fight coughs. In addition, cloves have antiparasitic properties. But of course, it is worth making a reservation that too many cloves are not recommended. It needs to be added a little, and it should be understood that there is such a thing as individual intolerance. So a large amount of cloves is not recommended for people who have acute forms of diseases of the digestive tract or urinary system. Let's move on. Paprika. The substances contained in this seasoning can serve as a prevention of the development of oncology. Paprika also helps to discharge blood and reduce the likelihood of blood clots. A moderate amount of paprika has a positive effect on the gastrointestinal tract. Again, it is moderate because if we pour too much of it, then it can already serve as an irritating factor. In other words, everything needs measure and common sense. Paprika may also be of interest to smokers because it contains a substance such as beta-cryptoxanthin. And it helps to neutralize a number of negative effects of tobacco. And paprika will be interesting to men because it is a potency enhancer. Let's move on. The next item, of course, is the famous garlic. Not to say about garlic was, well, just impossible. Garlic really has just amazing effects. This has a positive effect on our immunity, and a decrease in the likelihood of developing cancer with regular use. And antiparasitic and antibacterial properties. Garlic also has a positive effect on our cholesterol profile. Of course, as I have said more than once, it is much better to use not just dried, grated powdered garlic from the supermarket. That has been lying for months, but instead it is much better to use fresh garlic that we have just chopped and added to cooking. Of course, during the heat treatment, a number of positive properties can be lost, and many important components of garlic can die. And from this point of view, the most optimal thing is to eat fresh garlic. But there is one important but. After all, there is fresh garlic. Firstly, it can serve as a great stress for our stomach and cause heartburn. And secondly, it is, of course, the smell. If we live alone, and there is no one to complain to, then there is no problem. And if we live with someone, then regular eating of garlic can worsen the atmosphere in the house, let's say. Both literally and figuratively speaking. So perhaps the most optimal way is to take fresh garlic, but add it to cooking. To the enemy, in meat, in vegetables and so on. By the way, friends, and write in the comments, and what seasonings and spices do you use? Something from this list, or maybe you can recommend something else. Tell us, it will be interesting. And now I highly recommend you to watch my other video, where I talk about what turmeric does, and what an amazing effect it has on our body. The effect is so significant that I decided to dedicate a separate video to this. The link to the video you have just appeared on the screen, as well as the link I left in the description and pinned it in the upper comment. Be sure to take a look. And if you like this video, then like and subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you on that very video about turmeric. See you later.